Hey, it's Clay at claychart.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Monday, August 1st. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you are someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. First, a couple of clarification points. The price you see over here will still be moving around, and then the candlestick right there will still be moving up and down. That's because the market is still open for a small amount of time. I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. And then second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, which means each one of these candlesticks here, as they're called, represents 30 minutes worth of time. So stock number one here, GOVX, and did this one in the previous video. So want to do and make the first update, which is just based on a foundational rule in charting, which states when levels of resistance are broken and closed above, you want to see them act as support. So going into the day, 240 was that area of resistance, and you can see got the breakout right there and a very nice move. But this is where just the power of charts come along, because yes, there was a pullback, but what a coincidence. Look right where the price stopped going down and then ultimately got a bounce, essentially right at that area, which falls right into play. Levels of resistance tend to act as levels of support. So 240, good to see that as a nice sign of power. So moving forward, 240 will be that ideal level of support. And overall, I get it. This right here, is a good size pullback, but taking a step back and looking at things from more of a bigger picture point of view, assuming 240 holds, you have a low there, you have these lows, you have those lows, you have those lows, you have these lows down here. And if you envision all these as stair steps, then you still very clearly have stair steps progressing in the upwards direction. So even with the bigger pullback today, this afternoon, overall, the chart is still perfectly fine. As far as areas of resistance are concerned, key resistance level now to watch moving forward, going to be right up there at $3.25. So keep an eye on that. So yes, today in and of itself, a bit disappointing with the bigger pullback. However, think about that word today, as in one day. Looking at multiple days, you can see the trend is still plenty bullish. Next one here, Tblt, and same exact premise, which is why I wanted to put this one second, because I don't want to sit here and repeat myself. So again, focusing on the word today, yeah, not a great day. Made a great move up, and then all of a sudden, really pulled back. So there's no doubt about that. Today, in and of itself, pretty disappointing. But once again, let's look at more than just a single day, and let's look at where these lows have been. So you have this former breakout point right here. So again, another classic example of that resistance now acting as support right there. But with that level holding, so you have, again, change up the colors. If this, assuming this holds as a low, and then you have these lows, and then you have that low down there, and if you envision each of those as stair steps, then again, overall, looking at multiple days, the stair steps are still progressing in the upwards direction. So again, today, yeah, not a great day, but overall, the price continues putting those higher highs and higher lows, which brings about definitely the key level that a lot of people are going to be watching is going to be that resistance line right there, which puts right up around the $9 mark, give or take. So if the price can recover back upwards, $9 would be that main area of resistance. Next one, Nrxp, and I like the pattern that has formed on this one, which starts with the very well-defined downwards trend line right there. And then we also have this area of support down around the 75-cent mark. So let me change that to green, actually, to represent more so the bullish dynamic of things. And then to make this all a single color, maybe make it easier to see, well, that was a terrible line. Let's see if I can do a little bit better here. We have our resistance, not much. We have our support, and then we have the big momentum move right here. And then to complete the pattern, make it more visual, let's put our little golf hole down there. So for you golfers out there, this would be known as a bull pennant pattern. So if you like to play penny stocks, if you like to play bull pennant patterns, here you go. Next one, AMZN. Amazon had earnings, and I like this just because same general idea, good pattern, but you got to think that a lot of people have drawn that trend line right there. So I'm not trying to impress you by drawing that trend line because I'm assuming that a lot of other people have done it. And I say all that because when a lot of other people have drawn the same trend line and are going to be wondering the same things, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can produce some very dynamic movement. So there are no guarantees, but my point here is that, is it plausible? Is it valid to think that if the price can come up to that area and then get a break up through it, that break in and of itself could create good, solid upside buying pressure? That is certainly a plausible outcome that could occur. Once again, no guarantees, but that's certainly rational to think that way. So definitely keep a close eye on that trend line right there. And then as far as supports are concerned, have an area right down here at, let's see, what is that? The 134.50 mark. So again, maybe to make this a bit easier to see, let's keep it one color. We have our, wow, I can't draw lines today. We have our resistance. There we go. We have our support. We have the big move up like there. So in this situation, you have a nice little bull flag, bull pennant pattern. But overall, like I said, regardless of what you call the pattern, in my mind, it's all about that trend line because there's going to be all sorts of people watching it. So let's see if the price can get the break through it or not. Next one, AMC. Did this one in the previous video. And the trend line right there was doing a good job. Unfortunately, it was broken this morning and things were looking rough. But to give credit where credit's due, the price did actually recover very nicely from that fall. Well, it was a true trend line break, but did it actually lead to any further, downwards movement? It did not. So a good recovery, all things considered. Now, the price hasn't necessarily made any progress in terms of general levels. And that main general level right now that I talked about previously is that red line right there at $15. So it's not like that even really got close to being tested today. But like I said, all things considered, given how things started off on the day, I would still say that overall today, did a good job of making that comeback in the upwards direction. As far as supports are concerned, I think the new level here that makes the most sense to just draw is this overall trend line right there. Now that we have the new data points from today, you can see that we can get that line in place right there. So in all actuality, what's starting to form here is a longer term ascending triangle pattern. We have our resistance, we have our support. So maybe a poor man's ascending triangle. I'm not going to say that this one would end up in a textbook, but close enough for me at least to call it an ascending triangle. So if you like to play these sorts of patterns, then definitely keep an eye on it next week. Real quick, I wanted to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online training that I'm offering next week. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it should be used to help build consistency as a trader and why it is actually such a powerful tool for traders to use, then certainly get signed up for the free training. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box. If you're watching at my site, there's an area right there on the webpage to get signed up. So again, like I said, if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool and why it's so powerful and helpful, certainly get signed up for the free training. Next one, Snti, and a very, very solid pattern here. And I think the main reason why it's so solid is just because of this late day movement. The price has now twice come up there and bumped its head right there at $3.36. And just to double check, yes, $3.36. So needless to say, $3.36 is definitely going to be the level that a whole lot of people are watching next week as that potential breakout point. If you're somebody that more so plays pullbacks, then an interesting level from a pullback standpoint sits down here around the 275 mark. But yeah, no doubt about it. Very, very powerful afternoon. There was actually this little consolidation pattern right here. Got the breakout, and now it's just continuing on up. So really the question heading into next week is, is this thing going to consolidate and then repeat what it's already done? Only time will tell, but certainly, especially if you like this price range, one that belongs on the watch list. Next one, TQQQ, which is the leverage ETF. So if you want to play the NASDAQ, but QQQ is a bit too expensive for you, this one allows you to take part in it at a much lower price. Talked about this one in yesterday's video and how the price was doing battle and it was worth watching because you know what? If this is the start of a bigger breakout, then yeah, there could be an opportunity. And we got our confirmation today. This was indeed the start of a bigger breakout as this thing has just continued to grind higher and higher. So anybody that was acknowledging that and watching it, congratulations. I'm sure you had a nice day today on it. So first update is just, as I've said already, when levels of resistance are broken and closed above, you want to see them act as support. So moving forward, I realize it's not relevant right now, but if there are any sort of bigger pullbacks, then that 3150 mark is going to be that main area of support. As far as resistance levels, going to have to squeeze things down quite a bit, which is always a good problem to have because as you can see here, it has been a long time since the price has been up around this area. But the next key level of resistance is now going to be right up there at $34, which you can see was the peak from over here a couple of times. So 34 next key level, but overall, very, very powerful week, and congratulations to everybody that's been playing it. Next one here, Tsla Tesla, and an absolute beast monster move. You could throw this right into a textbook, and this means way more to those of you that watched the video that I did on Thursday. But talked about this resistance trend line right there, and talked about how you got to think a lot of people are watching it. But check it out. Came up, broke through there, came up, consolidation, and then this afternoon has just been a completely beast mode as it now is approaching $900. So monster move today. Congratulations to those that took that breakout. I'm sure you're going to have yourself a nice weekend, but let's get some new levels updated. So the newest levels of support is going to be right here at 868. Now, again, I realize that seems pretty far away from the current prices, but that's kind of the catch-22. When you make explosive moves like that, it does tend to create spaces between where the price is at and where next logical areas of support are at. So if there is any sort of pullback, then as of now, that 868 mark is going to be that initial area of support. As far as levels of resistance, like TQQQ, we got to go back quite a bit of ways in the chart's history here. Whoops, there we go. I guess I didn't have to go back that far. But next key level to watch closely, going to be right up there at, I'm sure no surprise, but the $900 mark. So 900, next key battleground. But all in all, what a monster move. And it'll be interesting to see if $900 can be broken next week. Next one, AMD, and first update, which you've heard me say, but this was the level of resistance headed in today. It did a fantastic job of breaking up above it. So this was at 91.75, and resistances are broken and close above. They tend to act as support, which is what happened here. I mean, check this out. Came up, got the breakout, came back down. Look right. Bounced right at that level, and then back up it went. So another classic example of a resistance turning into support. So keep an eye on 91.75 moving forward. A near-term level of support, and one that I would consider the ideal level. When you say, Clay, what would make this chart look the absolute best? That would be if that level up there at, let me double check the price on it, just make sure I have it right. Yeah, 93.75 would be great. But overall, the level that I would say is more important is down there at 91.75. As far as levels of resistance, as has been the theme, we got to go back quite a bit of ways now, given that these movements have put these prices up at levels that haven't been seen for a while. So next key level, right up there around the 96.50 mark. But all in all, very nice breakout. In fact, just a beautiful one. Brings a tear to my eye. Such a beautiful move. Got the break, came back down, back tested, and then up it went. Next one, SIGA. Been doing this for a while, and wow, I mean, just the nature of the beast with these sorts of stocks. Yesterday, I'm sitting here talking about how crazy, how powerful that chart was, and then I also did draw on that trend line right there, and you can see price came down to that trend line, actually had a green. So at one point, let's do this. At one point, the chart looked like that. You had it bottoming out, you had it finding some support, green candle at that trend line, but then that next 30-minute candle, just pure bloodshed, down it went. And it is bouncing now, but overall, yeah, the chart is looking a bit broken. Now, I mean, it can fix itself. Anything can fix itself. So who knows? Is this going to be some sort of V-shaped recovery? I suppose you never know with one that's been as crazy as SIGA. But right now, I would consider the chart broken, with the main area of resistance currently in the near term being right there at that purple line, the 50-period moving average, valid at, let's just call it the $19 mark. If the price does come back down, then a very important level is going to be that pink line, the 200-period moving average. And that's one of those levels where even if you have a basic understanding of charts, I'm sure you've heard of that 200-period moving average, and you know that when the price is above it, from a bullish standpoint, you want the price to stay above it. And that's currently valued right there at the $15 mark. So again, 19 key level of resistance, 15 key level of support. But yeah, things are definitely looking pretty shaky right now. But early next week is certainly going to be very interesting. So that wraps up the top 10. Again, if you like what you saw here and you want to learn more about this tool and why it's so powerful and can be helpful in building consistency as a trader, then certainly get signed up for the free training. Like I said, it'll be next week, Thursday, August 4th at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So I hope to see you there. As far as these as far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy this format, if you'd like for me to make more content like this, then please do a couple things for me. Hit that like button, leave a simple comment down below. Those two things communicate to me that you're enjoying. And as long as I know people are enjoying, I'll continue to put out the content like this. And also, it just helps out with the channel as a whole, helps get the videos out there, which is just beneficial. And I really do appreciate that. So again, get signed up for that free training. Hit that like button, leave a simple comment down below. Everybody, thanks, take care, and have a great weekend.